What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy the D here, aka the captain of the Thunder God Pirates. No, I'm kind of late with this chapter review, but fuck it, man. You look. You know, shit happens. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. One Piece, chapter 1035, Zolo versus King. And before we get into it, I just want to go ahead and today, I know I never really talk about these, but the cover story. It seems to be about the Germa escaping Whole Cake Island. And every now and again, Oda, he'll throw some little hints or whatnot in the cover story. So I don't know if this is gonna mean something later. Probably will, because I know we found out about one of the characters who was in, I think when Peachbeard was attacking that island and the revolutionaries helped, one of those characters actually showed up in Ace's little cover story. So, you know, you never know. But anyway, yet again, on to the chapter. So we immediately pick up where the last chapter left off after Sanji's barrage of attacks against Queen, and we see Queen being launched out of the dome, and Sanji standing there like a badass. And then we see I can't remember her name, but one of the courtesans, I guess you would call her, you know, coming up to Sanji after the battle, and Sanji giving her rat Shuji. So then Sanji's like, he's being a gentleman. He's like, hey, make sure, like, hey, are you all right? You know, is everything okay? And pretty much telling, like, yeah, Shuji was with him the entire time. He pretty much got him, tucked him away to keep him safe. And then even while he's talking to her with the rat, he flashes back to back when he was a kid, when he would cook for one of the rats that would actually like hang around him. And then, even like said, like somebody would see him, like, check out the failure. He's cooking food for rats again. And it's kind of like bringing his whole story full circle. Like, I might be a failure to you, but to everybody else, I'm somebody of worth and value. And my kindness is not a weakness, it's my strength. But then he goes on to, say, hey, are you all right? But before he can really get it, out, he faints, which he's had a tough time with Queen. So, I mean, understandable. Also, as Queen was being flung out of the left brain tower, it looks like his left bionic arm was destroyed in it. So I don't know. He might. Well, actually, no. I think the island Onigashima is still hovering over land. So I don't think he's in the sea. He's probably just somewhere in the countryside in a crater now. But unfortunately, it does confirm that instead of Sanji being able to use the raid suit, he won with that barrage of attacks. So he got a power up, just not the one that I wanted him to. Because I'm not gonna lie, look, I wanted him to use the raid suit. I like the raid suit. That shit's dope. But he won without it, and it's confirmed that Sanji has won that fight. And even as he faints, old girl's like, "Hey, someone get the medical kit." But then we flash back to Zoro's fight. After he tamed Enma, he was able to cut King, and it's here that we see he cuts King straight down the middle, but it doesn't end the fight. Rather, it destroys his mask. So Zoro, after he cuts him, he's thinking to himself, I was right. When the flames on his back go out, he can move a little faster, but his defensive ability drops in response. And as he's thinking this, we see King finally take off his mask, revealing himself to have light-colored hair and dark skin with a tattoo over his left eye. So some of the beasts are watching like, Master King took off his mask. And then so everybody, they're looking on, they've been beaten down. These are the guys who Zoro knocked out with conquerors, like still foaming at the mouth a little bit. They're like, so the rumors were true. Black wings, white hair, and brown skin. What was the reward for tipping off the government? 100 million berries? And King sits there in silence, and he's like, okay. Which is why he never takes off his mask. Apparently the government is looking for a Lunarian like him. So it's then that he takes out his sword and sets it on fire. And then all of the beasts are like, wait a minute, they're like, hey man, don't do it. And we get another one of his name techniques, Imperial Flaming Wings. And he fucking flambés their asses. So then Zoro, looking on, he's like, the castle's already burning down as it is. I figure you treat your men better. And as he's saying this, he's jumping up to, get out of the Skull Dome. And he's like, if they're distracting you, why not come up here? And then Zoro's like, did I hear something about 100 million just for a tip-off? And he's like, what are you? So King then transforms into a pterodon, which is, we finally get to see his pterodon form, without the mask. And he says, it's nothing that's gonna matter to a man who's about to die. So then we cut with those, and yet again, he jettisons out of the Skull Dome, and him and Zoro get clashing, with him firing off attacks at a distance, and then clashing his wings with Zoro's swords, knocking him to the ground and transforming back into his regular form, his human, well, not even human, his Lunarian form. So Zoro's still, yet again, he's understandably weathered. He's huffing and puffing. He's like, okay, I gotta end this. I don't have that much time. This drags on. This sword is literally gonna suck the life out of me. Because yet again, he's getting a better hang of Enma, but I wouldn't say he's mastered it just yet. And even if you can say he has, it still has that, hey, I'm taking your hockey. Like, okay, I don't have infinite amount of hockey to just give to you. So then King then goes on to say, I sense that you represent a threat. So as Zoro's standing ready to get his next attack, he's like, okay, he's definitely some kind of special race or some shit, but it's got nothing to do with me. He's like, same to you, your crew. He's like, your crew's ruled over this place for long enough. It's time for you to go. But here we see, because this whole time Zoro's swords have been emanating like a steam. So it's not just hockey, it's like will-o-wisps in a way, like smoke, or like some type of like smoke-like energy. And it's here that we see that this isn't just for show. Zoro has a new, I wouldn't say technique per se, but like a new fighting form. Kind of like a power-up, a super, like kind of like, you have Goku, but then, well, you have Luffy, but then you have his gears, which are like techniques that he uses for a specific period of time. So now, instead of just regular 3-sword style, it's King of Hell 3-sword style. And then King's like, don't get full of yourself. Kaido is the man who will be king of the pirates. And it's here that we get a flashback. We see a young Kaido, and then we see King, who's younger, who's strapped to a device. And Kaido says, a Lunarian, eh? No wonder the government wouldn't give you up. I saw those endurance tests they put you through. I'm breaking out of this place and starting a new pirate crew. What do you say, guinea pig? To which King is initially silent. He says, can you change the world we live in? Kaido with a monster's grin on his face. I'm the only one who can change it. So we then see them walking out, everything in the background, we see fire and whatnot. And over the intercom says the subjects have escaped. So Kaido's like, what's your name? And King gives us his real name, Albert. So then Kaido tells Albert, you're strong, but from now on, your name, I'm gonna call you King. Stay under my wing. I won't let anyone else have you. From this day on, you're my right-hand man. Woda. But this moment brings everything full circle, because in the background, we see PH-006 on one of the towers. PH. Where have we seen those before? Punk Hazard. Okay, before we continue, it's shit like this that really ties shit together that I really love when Oda does. Cause see, what you have to realize is from the time the Straw Hats have entered the New World up until this point, they've been fighting Kaido. Even with the Big Mom side plot, they've been fighting Kaido. Punk Hazard is where Kaido and King were initially kept. PH, Punk Hazard. This whole time, damn near everything that they've done has tied into Kaido. So it's 2011. They entered the New World about 2010, I think 2011. So for the last 10 or so years, they've been tying shit into Kaido. I don't know if we're gonna get like a Kaido backstory like we got Big Moms, like how right before like when Big Mom was screaming after the picture got broken, we got her entire backstory. I don't know if we're gonna get anything like that for Kaido, but it's interesting that he's been kind of dropping crumbs, like, because yet again we know that the false dragon fruit that Momo ate was made from Kaido's lineage factor, his DNA, and that was probably done at Punk Hazard. So it's really interesting that this entire time, from Punk Hazard to Dressrosa to Zoe to Wano, everything has tied into him. It's just interesting, and I love shit like that. Like how Oda will make some shit that may seem completely unrelated, or may seem minute, or really superfluous. He'll make it so that it ties into everything. So Punk Hazard, like, and even me, I'm not gonna lie, the Punk Hazard arc, like, it's whatever to me. But it's really dope that it wasn't a random stop. That it has meaning in a greater scheme of this saga. And I just think that's cool as hell. But anyway, so Zoro uses his new King of Hell 3-sword style, Purgatory Onigiri, which slashes the rock that King was resting on into about 6 pieces. So Zoro notices that as King's dodging, his flames are on. And he's like, okay, so there's no point in attacking him now. So then King uses Imperial Flaming Wings. And Zoro, like, he dodges it, but he notices that the heat of that flame is just ridiculous. So it's really interesting that this fight, it's kind of like a video game boss battle. How, like, a boss may have certain phases where they're invincible. So with King, and yet again, because even from what Marco was saying about the Lunarians, what he heard from Whitebeard and what Queen was saying, they were like gods on top of the red line. And even then, what Queen said, he said that they could survive in any environment, and their flame seems to be tied to that ability. Because while his flames are on, King is damn near invincible. Or at least his defensive capabilities are so high that even with Zoro's King of Hell style, King of Hell 3-sword style, he can't hurt him. But when his flame is off, he can move quicker. He can move more quickly, but he's vulnerable to attack. Still highly durable, but vulnerable. So anyway, they clash in midair as King, meets Zoro, but with his flaming sword. And so now we see that this sword, it looks like the sword can kind of transform. It's like King can make those rivets appear that he used to break swords. He can actually make those appear on and off. So he does it. So when Zoro's swords first make contact, there are no rivets, but then the rivets appear. So Zoro's like, okay, no, you're not gonna break my swords. So Zoro pushes him back. And he's like, how dare you? You're not taking my swords away. Zoro flips back, and King quickly intercepts him and kicks him straight in the head. He's like, okay, if he's fast, I can cut him. Zoro then uses Bird Dance to cut King straight up the middle again, this time actually doing damage. So as him and King are clashing again, he's like, okay, so it seems you figured out the rules of my body. That's right, finally envisioning your own defeat, Zoro says in rebuttal. So they're still going. And while they're going, King is actually parrying his attacks. So then Zoro's like, okay, so why bother to block my attacks? I thought they did nothing to you, unless you're scared of what I can do. Retro. King then flies off the edge and says, you are biologically incapable of defeating me. So then Zoro's like, there's nothing I hate more than weak excuses. So King then transforms back into a pterodon. And he's like, okay, well, it's time to end this. I'll keep you in my memory as the feisty swordsman you were. And then Zoro starts running towards him, running towards the edge, and says, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna carve it into you myself, assuming you survive to remember. So King then unleashes an extra large Imperial Flaming Wings. Zoro grits his teeth, and you can see the black lightning coming off his sword. So I don't know if he's necessarily using his Conqueror Haki with it. Oh, I think that's what that's kind of trying to signify. King of Hell, 3-sword serpent, 103 Mercies, Dragon Damnation. And yet again, we see the parallel between Ryuma and Zoro, because yet again, Imperial Flaming Wings takes the form of a flaming dragon, and we've seen Zoro do this. Funny enough, actually earlier today, I rewatched Zoro versus Ryuma the zombie on Thriller Bark, and Zoro's attack was a dragon then. And even now, back on Punk Hazard, yet again, everything's coming full circle, he cut a dragon. And Ryuma was stated to have cut a dragon over Wano about 400 years ago. And now Zoro, who we've learned is a descendant of the Shimotsuki clan, is cutting a dragon here. Just those parallels, just coming together. But from what it looks like and the impact of this, and this isn't just some random attack, of course not just some random attack, but King's right wing has been severed. Like you can see, like the tip of his right wing is gone now. So I don't know if his wings can grow back or what, but now it looks like he's never gonna fly again. I find that kind of fucked up because that's part of him. But I mean, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So yeah, but a dope chapter, and overall. So. A dope chapter overall, and I'm betting, like I say, especially with that wing being cut, I don't think King's coming back from this one. I think Zoro's officially won it. But yeah, dope chapter. Now, the state of Wano as it is. So Sanji versus Queen, Sanji wins. All 6 Tobiropo are down. Well, all 5 Tobiropo are down, because I think Drake's still up and kicking. Don't know what Apu's doing. Well, Drake and Apu are teaming up to take on CP0. Zolo versus King. King's down. I think the only thing we have left to do is the CP0 versus Drake and Apu. Yamato's got to figure out some way to stop the fall of the island and at least neutralize the explosives. But I think the only real big fight we got left is Luffy versus Kaido. So, it's finally coming down to it. Are we going to get a Gear 5? Or are we going to get Luffy's Awakening? Or are they going to be one and the same? I don't know. I kind of think we might get a Gear 5. I think Luffy's Awakening might be like the big thing for like the next saga, which is going to be the last saga, not the last arc, but after Wano. I think we've all come to see One Piece is on the decline. Well, not on the decline, but on the way out. Like the story itself. So I don't think the next arc is gonna be the last one. But after this, I think they only got, because I was thinking about it, they don't have to go to Lodestar, if they even go to Lodestar. There's Elbaf, and I don't know, because like I said, they might go to Lodestar, but because they learned what they needed to learn on Lodestar on Zou, they really don't need to go there. So beyond Raftel, beyond Laughtail, which they have to go to find the One Piece, the only place I know they have to go is Elbaf. That's it. Like, I don't know anywhere else they have to go. Like I said, they don't need to go to Lodestar. They already learned what they need to learn there. They've technically been to Whole Cake and got that rubbing. They got the rubbing on Zou. They're getting the rubbing from Kaido. So there's still that 4th mystery poneglyph, which might just be on Elbaf, but we don't know. But yeah, things are winding down, and like I said, there's CP0 versus Drake, which they could do like a chapter or 2, and then there's Luffy versus Kaido. But we're gonna have to wait because the next chapter doesn't come out until January 3rd. Yet again, this is, the holiday time, so yeah, we all knew this was coming. But anyway, dope ass chapter. Got to see Zoro get a power up. Got to learn a little bit more about King. Might do a video on him. But without further ado, this has been your boy the D, signing out. See ya.